I'm not getting any. Try your mic, would you? Oh. Now we're good. Got it.
Hot,
Okay.
hot.
Hot.
All right. I'll make it the agenda. Little less than a minute to go.
Look. No point in digging a burrow. If I were. Sorry.
You're fine. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much and welcome to the Indian Wells Valley Water District Board of Directors Special Board Meeting for Thursday, November 6th, 2025 at 3 p.m. And I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order at 3 p.m. Pledge of Allegiance. Let's see. Mal, would you mind leading us?
Place your hand over your heart. Repeat after me. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you, Mal. Roll call.
President St. Amand,
Present.
Vice President Griffin.
Here.
Director Boyd.
Here.
Director Kaczynski.
Here.
Director Rotora.
Here. Posting of agenda declaration.
Agenda for today's special board meeting was posted on Wednesday, November 5th, 2025.
Thank you. Conflict of interest declaration.
President St. Amand.
None.
Vice President Griffin.
None.
Director Boyd.
None.
Director Kaczynski.
None.
Director Rotora.
None.
All right. So we have a public questions and comments section. There are no members of the public present in the room with us. Do we have any online? Okay, they do not appear to be online. So I'm going to go ahead and read the requirements anyway, and then we'll move on. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons desiring to address the board on any matter not on the agenda and over which the board has jurisdiction. However, no action may be taken by the board on any item not appearing on the agenda. Non-agenda speakers are asked to limit their presentations to 5 minutes. Public questions and comments on items listed on the agenda will be accepted at any time that item is brought forth for consideration by the board. When you're recognized by the chair, you would state your name for the record. And we still have no one online? Oh, are there anyone online who has a question? Okay, so seeing none, we're going to move to item 7, current business committee reports. Inyokern Community Services District Consolidation Negotiation Status. Who would like to tackle this, start kicking this can down the road?
I can try to give at least my perspective on it. As I think I reported at our last district meeting, I was in attendance for the State Water Board visit to CSD, as were a number of other notables in the Valley, like the GA, April, for the GA was there, their lawyer, and a few other, I think there were 3 people associated with the State Water Board that were here. The presentation was very clear. He was not being belligerent, but he was very clear that their intention was to basically force a consolidation, and they would prefer that we work that out in a voluntary basis, but they were prepared to mandate a consolidation in the December timeframe if we were unable to come up with an adequate solution for their purposes. A lot of question and answers from the public, a lot of misconceptions. There were a few comments that were made about the water district, and I had to identify myself and say, hey, which Jim had suggested maybe I didn't want to do that, but it was unfair to leave those questions or those statements made in public without a retort. And so I clarified those and asked the State Water Board representative to identify that it was they that were forcing us to work within Inyokern, and it wasn't a homegrown idea that the water district came up themselves, and he did that clearly. At the end, like I say, there were a lot of questions, varieties of things. Some people were frightened, some people were mad, and some people were confused, and a mix of those emotions was clear. At the end of the meeting, I think the public was better informed, and there were no pitchforks and no shotguns, no threats. That was good. Everybody left in a cordial manner. I was invited by Kristen to come to the following week's CSD meeting, so I could meet her board and just kind of, it wasn't a full ad hoc connection, and nor was that expected. That wasn't on the agenda, that we we're going to work out the details on how the water district would propose moving forward with CSD.
Okay.
They just wanted us to have an opportunity to see the board, and they could see us. So I got to watch them operate, and it was clear that they're apparently, in a majority of their customers have asked Holly and Christine to push back. You know, we'd rather the state not get involved in this. We'd rather not do the consolidation.
Okay.
We think we can do it if we repair their proposed approach is to repair well 4 and prove that it's adequate backup supply for well 3. I don't know what happened to well 1 and 2, but anyway, there's 3 and 4 are the 2 wells, and 4 is not currently operational. And then that they were going to go plan to brief the state and say, hey, we don't think we need to consolidate. We think we got this under control. Now that's counter to what the State Water Board had said during their meeting, which was, we don't believe that CSD has the adequate fiduciary responsibilities and to be able to actually, if we were to give you money, that you could do this yourself, and the state will be unwilling to give you money.
Okay.
So if you take that statement, you know, even if they get well 4 going, they're still going to have to do other improvements to the system, which they probably can't afford. So they're going to need state grant money.
Okay. Pipe replacements, meter replacements and repairs, things like that.
It's not clear that the well 4 is going to be producing water reliably enough and in a quantity enough to actually be a backup. So,
Okay.
there's other issues. I'm not an expert in the area, but it didn't look like, I mean, it's a hope, right? They're really hoping, but it currently is not producing, and it did fail. So they're fixing a failed well, and well, you probably know more.
No, I just want to say that I'd like to tell the board that I appreciate everything that Mallory's done. He's done a great job trying to facilitate with the CSD. It's a little frustrating to me. Here we are, literally a month and 3 days away from the deadline by the state. And at this point, we've literally had one meeting that we've attended in Inyokern with no negotiations, no talks. I understand that the CSD does not want to consolidate with the water district. But my feeling is that we need to let the state know that we have tried, we've made the effort. If that's what we need to do, we're willing to help them. We don't want to take them over just by strong hand, but if we're ordered to consolidate, that's what we need to do, and we need to work at a plan. So we had a meeting scheduled. You know, we took the time to do the meeting, and then that meeting got canceled last minute. So it's just frustrating. It seems like Mal said that their solution is to fix well 4, get it online, but that's not all the state wants. The state's concerned about their finances, the managerial, the day-to-day operations. So it's more than just fixing that well, and that's what I think needs to be expressed to them, because the state's going to come in and say, here you go. And it concerns me. We have 35 or 40 days. So that's kind of where I'm at on it.
Yeah, thank you for that. The grand jury report, I was able to review it. I didn't get a copy, but when you read through it, there are a number of issues that they raised as they investigated what was going on out there. And bringing well 4 back online only addresses a small portion of what the grand jury was concerned about. So in any event, and then everybody knows there was a draft document that they shared with us that we got a chance to review, and I think most of the board had some concerns about it, and we've got a response to that here. So in any event, so that's kind of where that's at. I mean, it's not been hostile. They've been very respectful. But you can honestly see that they really don't, they would prefer not to have to do the consolidation under state direction.
Well, it is the policy of this board that we don't force people into consolidations. As you say, though, the state has that power and authority to do so. And in fact, we just had a group that requested consolidation. Then after getting way down the road on consolidating, it was a small mutual, they decided they didn't want to, and that's absolutely fine. We would prefer to see, for the people of Inyakern and the community services district out there, we would have preferred to see them independent and able to address their own issues. But it does not appear that that's going to be the case. And I understand that we've had a letter prepared here that will express to them our concerns about the progress or lack thereof so far. And that is also serves as a evidence that we've taken this seriously so that the State Water Board will understand our position better. Is that correct?
Yes, and
Okay.
I've read the document, and I don't think there's any substantive improvements that could be made. I
No,
mean,
I-
I could sit here and mess around with it all day long, but I think it's clear. It gets to the point. It doesn't accuse of anything. It just basically states this is where we are, and this is where we're supposed to be in 6 weeks or 5 weeks. And there's no clear path to get there.
Vice President Griffin, do you have any comments on the letter?
No, I've read the letter several times and I think the letter's fine. It gets the point across. And the thing I wanted to make sure that State Water Control Board knew that we were following their direction.
Okay.
But if Inyakern doesn't want to, that's fine also. And it will just be up to the State Water
Then
Control.
we get to make the
That point,
call.
yeah.
Right, okay. Mr. Worth, reaching for your microphone, did you have input?
Something say first.
Okay.
Okay.
It was a reflex. No, I don't have anything to add other than with what was just discussed. You got the letter.
Director Kaczynski.
The only thing in the letter that, I don't know if there's another way to say it, that I think it's in the first, second, third paragraph, last sentence, you're in action. I think that's almost, that could be a little gravelly to them and such. I don't know it needs to be changed at all, but I do know we want to make it clear to the State Water Board that it's their inaction that's keeping this from happening. How do you say that politely? I don't know.
The lack of progress to date.
Yeah, lack of progress on your part somehow. But the last thing also is, are we going to CC this to the State Water Board? Are we going to CC them to whoever is?
It wasn't my thought that we would. This is just a letter. I think what this will be, I'm sorry about the voice, you guys. It'll be Exhibit A to the letter that we're going to have to submit before
Okay.
we all go away for Christmas. And the deadline is the 12th of December. And then within 2 weeks, we have to give a report. Right now, that report's going to be pretty short. And the reason I used the word inaction, and I did think about that, is because we are 5 months in to a
Okay,
6-month process, and we have yet to have one public meeting. To me, that's inaction. That's
yeah,
all.
that's the best way to say it. I mean, I don't know of any other way.
And you're all right with that language?
Yeah, I'm all right with it. And then I see what he says is what we'll do is we'll have to do something to the State Water Board, reporting where we are with their request. And this would be a attachment to that. Yeah, I
Okay.
agree with that.
Right. Director Rotora, do you have any input?
I'm all in favor of the letter. I think
Yeah.
it's actually pretty clear. My feeling is it's something that we probably should have put out a month ago, but that's just my personal feeling.
Okay.
So thank you.
Yeah, and just to comment back, so the reason because we discussed that was we had a meeting set for this last month. And so there was going to be a meeting, there was going to be some action. So we were anticipating that maybe we were going to move forward, and then the meeting, like I said, they canceled the meeting. So that's why it didn't get done a month ago, because we anticipated
Point.
making progress.
So just my only comment is on the back, it says respectfully, Indian Wells Valley Water District. Who do you propose as signatory to the letter?
It would either be the president or the ad hoc committee members.
I'm good either way.
I'm good either way.
I'm good either way, so.
Chuck, would you even be available to sign something tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, well, then maybe from the ad hoc, just because they're the ones that are tasked with this,
That sounds good. I
Okay.
think I agree with that.
I'll make that change.
I don't think I agree. I do agree. All right. Do we have any questions or comments from the public who are online? All right, can I have a motion to approve the letter with the ad hoc committee as signatories?
I'll make the motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any additional discussion? Nope. I'd like to call for the vote, please. Oh, wait, stop. Go ahead, caller. Oh. It happens to all of us. You need to be unmuted, Renee. Can you, if you can't unmute, could you type your question? I, the question is, because I'll let Jim answer that.
My opinion is no, but you'd have to ask the state board.
I think that this, we've been proactive and we have concerns that I think this letter addresses. And I think that will demonstrate to the state that we've been holding up our end of the request from the state, and don't think that'll put us in any kind of danger. But that's just my opinion.
No, I agree with you. I think that this shows the state water board that we're doing what they asked us to do.
Yeah.
And I agree with Chuck that we got to continue to show that, because we don't want them coming back to us saying, you did something wrong, we don't like you, we're going to put you some kind, whatever.
Yeah.
So we need to, whatever they say we need to do, we need to do. And this is the, at least follow-up.
Okay.
So I don't think it puts any compromised position that I can tell. I don't think we've done anything that would put us in a compromised position.
I totally agree. And remember, the state asked us to try to come up with a voluntary consolidation. And if we can't, they will mandate a consolidation based on their rules. So I don't think they may be disappointed that we're unable to collectively work together for a voluntary solution, but they've got a plan and they're going to execute.
Okay, we have another question from the public. Hey, Renee.
We haven't had a public meeting.
You would have been,
We would have been
you would have
invited.
been allowed, but we didn't have one.
Yeah, we were hoping to schedule meetings with Inyokern customers and the IWB customers.
So right, so the Community Services District held a meeting. And that was not our meeting. We probably would have had meetings, and anybody who was our customer could come to those. So my guess is, though, that one of the questions that's going to pop up is the water district responsible for the cost of repairs and enhancements to the Inyokern Community Services District. And the answer is that if there's a consolidation, the state would provide funds to help bring them up to par, and that our customers would not be responsible for addressing those costs.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Nothing else?
Can
Oh,
you hear
there's
me
Nancy.
now?
Yay, go ahead, Renee.
Finally got unmuted. What are the next steps with ICSD? Are you trying to get several more meetings together with them? And
It's so late along and it's so far along in terms of time that it might be difficult we would love to have meetings with them to discuss a voluntary consolidation. But what do we have, 5 weeks?
And holiday season as well. 2 of those weeks are effectively muted.
So the time is run out realistically.
So what do you think the state board is gonna have to come in and bring a negotiating board in or something?
No, they'll probably issue a letter that says you will consolidate, and then they'll give us some further instructions. Jim?
Sure, the process is that once they held that public meeting was by the state board and not from Inyo Kern. And it's one of the steps that the state board has to do before they order a mandatory consolidation. If we make no progress on the voluntary consolidation discussions, there's a couple steps, but there has to be another public hearing no sooner than 6 months after the October 2nd or 3rd hearing that already took place. And then after that, they hold that hearing, then there might be a couple other steps, but then they're pretty much free to order a mandatory consolidation, which based on conversations with the state board as well as LAFCO is going to really impact Ty, because the first thing they're talking about a managerial consolidation, and that means Inyo Kern remains just like it is in Inyo Kern, except for the fact that district staff is now responsible for, I'll call them the administrative aspect of running the water system, including maintenance, repair, that kind of stuff. That's all.
So after you have that next meeting, you said that has to be done in 6 months, then that opens up the door that they have to consolidate.
There may be some other steps right after that, Renee, but that's a big step in then putting the state board in position to where they're able to order the mandatory consolidation.
So is this gonna take like a whole year to actually just do administratively before you actually do anything on the ground of consolidation?
That could be a fair estimate, but I'm not sure, but that might be somewhere in the ballpark, Renee.
Who is going to be educating the ICSD customers on what's going on? I don't know if most of the people even know what's going on over there.
Well, it's the state board that's putting on the notice, and I'm pretty sure most of them know what's going on. And as this goes on, there'll continue to be notices. There'll be discussions at the board level like we're having here. And I don't know how we're going to notice things that I don't know what are going to happen yet. So, but I will say that we will keep the customers at both Indian Wells and Inyo Kern alerted through our social media and other avenues.
Are you going to be sending any letters or postcards out telling the IWV customers?
You're going too far in.
Yeah.
We're going one step at a time. You're asking what notice we're going to give for a step that I don't know what's going to occur yet.
So generally speaking, when we consolidated with small mutuals, we did not send out postcards to the general customer base to announce that consolidation. I presume we have a spot on our website while all this documentation, including this, when this letter is approved, it gets posted. So we have that available to the public, but.
And I believe, and I'll defer to Lauren, but I think we've done some social media blasts already on this consolidation, and we'll continue to do so.
Okay.
And those public meetings that were talked about, that they have desires for us to be doing in this 6-month period, was the time when the public would be hearing about what we all plan to do. And we haven't had any of those public meetings.
Right.
And if we would have, the intention was to notice it similar to a board meeting,
Right.
notify all and so we're trying to get out the meeting. We just don't have one.
Okay, was there anything else, Ms. Westlock?
Yeah, I just want to know, like, the IWVWD, their water service most likely won't be affected at all, or will there be times when there might have service glitches because they got to shut down a line in order to hook up to the other system?
There won't be any interruptions to the service to our regular customers.
it'll just go ongoing with no glitches or anything or shutdowns temporarily?
Yeah, the short answer is yes.
Okay.
John, you want to tackle the rest of that question?
It will be two separate water systems, Renee.
Oh,
So
they
we will
won't be,
operate as normal, so any inconvenience that we provide is due from a leak, but we will not be shutting down or inconveniencing anybody's water service for Inyakern or vice versa.
oh, okay. So they're not really going to be linked together.
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. So I'm going to issue some clarification. Many people think that the water district is synonymous with the city of Ridgecrest. It is not. We are a county special district wholly independent from the city of Ridgecrest. We serve not only people within the boundaries of the city of Ridgecrest, but also people in the unincorporated areas of San Bernardino and Kern counties. And as Inyakern is in Kern County, we would be serving them effectively as people living in an unincorporated area of Kern County. So
I want to make,
consolidating with the water district does not mean Inyakern gets absorbed into Ridgecrest. Sorry.
exactly, but it also means, John, maybe I misunderstood you, that at the beginning of this, it may be that their systems are independent, but the long-term goal is they would become part of our system, so there would be an interconnect eventually.
Most likely, but we don't know that yet.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, sir.
exactly.
Correct.
I
Okay.
think it's fair, and I've shared with the CSD folks that we've been focused on the managerial aspects of this. We haven't spent any real quality time on looking what the physical solutions can, if that's the right term, what the ultimate solution would be for pipage and sources of water and all that. That's not been the primary focus at this stage. We've been more looking at the managerial aspects.
I got that confused look on my face. I know that that would be down the road of your committee's meeting, but I thought that the State Water Board was requesting that when you laid out the plan, it includes some kind of interconnection. So it isn't just about managing it, it's about what does the interconnection look like? Because I know there were a couple options of it. I won't go into those, but one option was a direct connection, one was a loop. I'm not into that. John knows more. But I would think that would occur when the discussions would start. Because I thought what the State Water Board wanted to see was all of that so they could say, okay, now what kind of money are we going to have to put up to make this happen the way we want, the Water Board wants it to happen?
Before they ever give us any
Right.
grant money, they're going to want to.
Right, exactly.
But they're not preparing the plan to get the managerial consolidation process started.
We're
No, I
talking
realize
long-range
that.
plans now. We have a motion and a second.
Yeah.
So waiting a vote.
Okay.
Did you have something you wanted to add, Jim?
No, Mal just said it, the way the actual physical hookup is gonna be dependent upon how much money the state gives us.
Right.
And
Okay.
that's the bottom line.
All right. And the state generally does provide funds for consolidations. Right.
I just have one more question. Can you demand funding for that interconnection line?
We can't demand it.
Anything.
We can request.
Well,
We can request it.
But I mean, if the state sort of expects you to eventually interconnect, to me, they're responsible for providing that extra money to do that.
Absolutely. And we can't burden the current customers in the water district to pay for that money. The state has to pay for this. If they can't pay for it, there won't be a consolidation.
Right. Okay, so we have,
John had something before the vote.
well, thank you, John.
The misunderstanding with an interconnection, I think you have, Renee. An interconnection doesn't mean that they're constantly going to be fed from the water district. An interconnection can mean that in a time of emergency, we can supply water to them or vice versa if needed.
For example, we have an interconnection with the base
The base in Trona, yes, sir.
and Trona, right? Okay. All right. Any additional discussion? Any more questions from the public? Then let's go ahead and call for the vote, please.
President St. Amand,
Yes.
Vice President Griffin,
Yes.
Director Boyd,
Yes.
Director Kaczynski,
Yes.
Director Ratora.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
When might that letter be ready tomorrow, Jim?
Or 9 o'clock, because I have a court hearing. So first thing, I'll have it done right when I come in, so
Okay.
by 8:30.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, very good. We'll move along to item 8, public questions and comments on the closed session. There's no one present here. Is there anyone on the line that has a question? Give it a second. No? All right. Then I'm going to go ahead and close the open session at 3:29 PM. And we'll move directly to the closed session. Thank you. thank you. Oh, we're waiting for Mal. Okay, we'll give him a minute.
Okay.
All right, very good. We have closed the closed session and we're going to reopen the open session at 4:34 PM. Mr. Worth, do you have a report on the closed session?
Board met with staff and legal on the items under executive session. This is harder than it looks. No action was taken that requires disclosure. There's one thing that I became aware that the posting of the agenda and the way that the closed session item was posted has created some assumptions amongst public and the employees. And I'll say for my defense is that that is exact wording out of the code section of the Brown Act, which is why I put it on there. I would note that it talks about the appointment as well. So it's just an all-inclusive agenda item that we've used. And perhaps George can add some clarity if he's willing.
Yeah, I would like to add some clarity. So, last week I met with, Board Member Boyd, and I had expressed to him that I had some changes in my family life. A house that we built in Utah is now done. My wife is now living in the house in Utah. She has gotten her dream job at the Best Friends Animal Society in Utah. And her mother, who's 91, has agreed to move to Utah, with my wife. I am exceptionally grateful for the opportunities that the Water District has given me, and I wanted to open a negotiation to renegotiate my 5-year contract down to closer to a 3-year, maybe 3 years and a few months contract, which would have me leaving in about a year and a couple of months. And that's what this board meeting was about. And I'm happy to say that the board was extraordinarily supportive of my request. And I know that they have a lot of work to do to find a replacement for me. I hope that goes well and we have a smooth transition in that process. And I just want to thank the board members for their understanding that my family situation changed in a way that's, nobody wants to be away from their wife for a long period of time. And I think this is a really great compromise for both the Water District and my personal goals. So thank you.
All right, thank you. So item 10, board comments and future agenda items. Let's start with Director Kozinski.
Based on what George has said, I appreciate what he's done here. I think that family comes first, and especially when you got a wife who got her dream job a few hundred miles away, that I understand what he's requesting, and I fully support it. And I want to assure everybody that he's going to continue to work with us this coming year, and on the track that we're headed. We have a lot going on, and things are happening pretty rapidly, and I'm going to expect him to, still be here to help us and work with us. And I want to thank you, George.
Director Boyd.
I would second what you just said, Ron. I'm saddened that life has given you some choices that are going to draw you away from here, but fully understand the priorities. I would probably have made the same. Matter of fact, I'm not too sure I would have been as gracious as you were, because that's a long time to geobatch. But I did spend a fair amount of time on the road when I worked for the Navy across the street, so I fully understand what that can be like. But I appreciate your consideration and willingness to help us make this transition as smooth as possible. And with your help and attention to that matter, I think we will achieve that goal. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Director Rotora.
I certainly respect George's desires and his change in life, one thing or another. And then as long as he gets all the lawsuits fixed by that time, I'm happy or not, whatever. So George, thanks.
Vice President Griffin.
I also would like to second Ron's thoughts. I think George has done a great job, and I think he'll continue to do a great job for the next year and a few months, whatever it works out to be. I don't think it's goodbye, but I think it's a learning curve, and we'll be on that for the next year and a half, and I just want to say thanks.
All right, your reasons are perfectly understandable. My wife has been out of town for a long while attending to some important business, and it's never any fun. So we'll work on making sure that the contract is addressed appropriately, and then everybody comes out of this with a win-win solution.
Thank you all. And I know we have a board member that needs to get back to work, so. Be bouncing a little.
Right. So the date of the next board meeting is November 10th. It's always special meeting with you guys.
All of our meetings are special, that's true, but
And with that, we're going to go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 4:40 PM. Thank you.
Right, you guys.
Go get them.
Thanks. See you later.
Don't break the.
I'll text you.